Okay. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. 5 p.m. Call the meeting to order. Here. Forum. Favor. Agenda change. BRAA. Public request. Member public. Okay. Public. Three. Federal state. Item 7. Report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Now. So before you use the financial report for the month of January 2026, through January, total operating revenues are approximately 2.9 million, and that's 9.7% above budget year to date. And this variance is driven primarily by the fuel flowage fees and the customs facility revenue. Total operating expenses are approximately 2.1 million, which is 19.3% below budget year to date. A few items to highlight on these. The project expenditures, Mr. Now highlighted, they're below budget about 609,000. The reason of this is mainly a couple of projects. The facilities management plan update, which has just recently begun, and we haven't received any invoicing on that one yet. Then we have an underground utility mapping project, which has not yet started. So we have no invoicing on that, and they should be starting out later in the year. But most notably is the EMAS project that was budgeted to be paid by the authority ourselves in this year, but the insurance company actually paid it directly, so we had no impact to our budget on that. So that's why we are lower in the EMAS repair project. We also have a few in the marketing special events budget. We're above on that one, about 58,000. That's due to our scholarship and Civil Air Patrol donations that happened in the beginning of the year. And then our professional services are under budget, a little bit lower legal expenses the beginning part of the year here, and then our audit services are just beginning. So once we start really getting into that, we'll get more invoices that'll drive that number back to where we expect. So with that, we had a net income before depreciation of approximately $785,000. So on behalf of Airport Management and Secretary Treasurer, respectfully present the financial report to the Airport Authority.
Favor. Aye.
Thank you.
Tenant reports request.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Atlantic Aviation has submitted a request on behalf of their subtenant Reliable Jet Maintenance to relocate the existing exterior signage from Hangar B1 to their new home in Hangar B9 as part of the overall Atlantic Aviation campus renovation project. Reliable Jet is being relocated to Hangar B9, and this would be the identical signage that was previously installed on B1 just to allow them to relocate to B9. So With that being said, Airport Management recommends Resolution 0426, allowing for the signage relocate.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Cheryl, discussions or questions for Travis? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Final sign approval for the Atlantic Aviation Monument sign. Travis.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. Atlantic Aviation is seeking the final approval for the replacement of their monument sign along Airport Road. The board will remember this was they provided conditional approval in April of 2025 pending the proper permitting from the city and approval from the city of Boca. That has been received, and the sign is currently in place. Airport Management recommends approval of Resolution 020526, approving the final rendition of the Atlantic Aviation's monument sign.
So moved.
Second. Questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Travis. Executive Director and staff reports, operations and noise abatements. Now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Leonardo Romero, Operation Coordinator. Before you is the operations noise abatement report for the month of January 2026. During the month of January 2026, there were 8,794 operations, which is an 11% increase compared to operation of January of 2025. In January, 2 VIP TFRs being implemented over Mar-a-Lago for a total of 2,248 operations under the TFRs. And the operations increased by 20% during the first 4 days of the month as well, due to the TFRs. And then January of 2026, VIP TFR operations represent about 131% increase over the total TFR operation recorded in prior January periods. JET deliveries were up by 27% compared to January 2025, and AGA delivered remained roughly the same compared to January 2025. There were 11 household filed noise concerns in January 2026, which was from the noise hotline and the online noise reporting form. During the month of January 2026, Custom had 286 aircraft clearings, which is an increase from the 207 total clearings during the month of January 2025. And there were 2 vessels clearings. And as of today, January 2026, stand as the 3rd busy month since the facility opened. These 286 aircraft arrived from 26 different countries. There were 41 after-hour clearings in the month. And for January 2026, the observation area received approximately 1,850 visitors. This concludes the operation report for the month of January 2026. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
We had an aircraft come direct from Africa. Do you know what kind of aircraft that was?
Egypt.
It was, yeah.
Egypt.
Egypt. That's Africa.
True.
Sorry.
You know,
I'll show you a map.
It was a global 8,000 global 8,000 that they use all the way from Egypt.
It's 6,600 miles roughly, and the global 8,000, you go close to 8,000, 8,500 miles.
Wow.
Piece of cake. Only money.
Thank you. Thank you, Lionel.
Africa, you're right, you got that.
Says the pilot.
World travel.
AWAS construction project allowance discussion. Travis?
Again, Mr. Chair, contract was awarded to Trinity Electrical Services in May of 25. A little typo in the memo there for the AWAS system here. Original contract was in the amount of $413,000 and some change. And normally, how we operate our contracts with vendors is we put in a percentage of the total in an allowance account just to allot for any unforeseen conditions to try to avoid bringing individual change orders before the board and delaying anything. Unfortunately, this was omitted. So due to some unforeseen conditions and having to reroute a couple of electrical conduits, we would like to add not to exceed the amount of $15,000 as an allowance account to account for some changes in the field conditions that were discovered once construction began. Funds are available in our budget this year, and airport management recommends approval of resolution 020626.
So move.
Second, questions or discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
That's the A1, but you're moving the rotating beacon with it, am I correct?
That is a separate
Separate.
design project.
I was wondering where the beacon was being moved to. Where it's being moved to.
It's currently being studied right now, but one of the locations we're looking at the hardest is the roof of the air traffic control tower.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Travis, it looks like you're staying up there for the public transportation grant agreement.
Thank you again. This would be for that design, as part of it for the aforementioned beacon. FDOT has offered a PTGA for the design portion of the relocation of the electrical vault and rotating beacon. The budget for this project is approximately $200,000, with the FDOT providing 160 and BRA providing the remaining. We're currently wrapping up a design study prior to this, just to see the feasibility of relocating. So we've identified several locations that we think would be a feasible spot and beneficial to all parties. So that being said, airport management recommends approval resolution 020726, authorizing the public agreement with FDOT.
I'll make a motion to approve it. Second.
Well, questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item D. Request to approve a grant agreement for the transportation study of the vertiport. Rob.
Yes, thank you. So FDOT has offered a public transportation grant agreement for the vertiport study. This will fund the upcoming work on the currently ongoing vertiport study. The budget for this, the grant funded portion is $100,000, and the grant is for 80% or 80,000, where the authority's share is 20%. Authority's share of the project costs are included in this year's budget. The airport management recommends approval, resolution 020826, authorizing the public transportation grant agreement with the state of Florida Department of Transportation for the vertiport study.
Discussion, questions? We had been waiting on this for a while, correct, Claire?
Yes.
This could become a big deal in the future, in a positive way.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All in favor?
And Mr. Chair, I'd be happy to have that come back and do that presentation again.
Okay.
Please. As long as we'll find him out there.
I'll block off my fire.
At least.
Sorry.
That might not.
I couldn't resist.
Want to see a demo?
Yes, at that moment.
We were all a little antsy in our seats, I think, so. Item E, sign code amendment. Scott.
Thanks, Mr. Chair, Scott Grote, Deputy Director. Item 40 is a minor change to the sign code. As Travis noted earlier, there are 2 approvals required currently by this body to install a new sign on the airfield. First, conditional, after which time the applicant goes to the city for permits or a letter saying that the sign is exempt. If they receive either one of those, then they come back for final approval, no matter if the sign has been altered or remains exactly the same as this body had previously approved. This has caused significant delays in the past just because of some of the timing with the permit issuance versus when board falls. It's also very confusing for sign contractors. One with Atlantic that we just blessed with final approval is actually already installed because the contractor jumped the gun because you get a permit, you're good to go to construct in most cases. So the proposed change that we are making would be that so long as the sign remains substantially the same as the one that received conditional approval, the executive director, Ms. Bennett, would have the authority to issue final approval. It's significantly different, then it would still have to come back. But most of the time, it's not going to differ significantly because the city does have a pretty strict sign code, unless you're going for a variance or something like that. So airport management recommends approval of resolution 020926, approving an amendment to the airport authority sign standards.
So move. Second.
Questions, discussion? Mitch.
The
sure we're all comfortable with the responsibility that Claire, our executive director, has to determine what is substantially the same or what is substantially different.
There is some subjectivity in that, for
So
sure.
we gotta be comfortable with that. I know we all read it, we certainly trust your judgment, but, you know, we know it.
I think, you know, until you vet this out, when in doubt, bring it back to the board, but I mean, we can do some stuff that could be, that seems real simple,
Well,
so.
I expect Claire would do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and the person asking for the signage could do that if they have a disagreement about what's substantial. Then they just would come to us and we'd be right where we're at today, right?
If she approves it, if Claire approves it, then they're not going to. If she
Yeah,
rejects
yeah,
it, then she's
obviously,
gonna
that's
go
what I'm
wild
talking
with it.
Obviously.
It should be,
But she's acting on behalf of the board because we're granting her that authority, so.
This is a rocket science.
But you're saying we would think it's substantial, but she may.
It's signage, it's not life and death.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, if we're trying to tighten things up and get rid of delay, that's the whole purpose of this, right? Correct. Then you kind of have to be sincere. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't see wait a month to go through another hoop that is significant.
Streamlined.
In our experience,
Yeah.
She does a process to come back to us.
Right.
We're saying, you
Right.
have this authority, we trust you. If you have a question, you come to us, but the person who gets denied.
but it should be identical to
And they
what's
can come like
what's been
this.
proposed. There should be no change.
There should be no changes, you would think so, but you know, it can happen, and if it does, you'll.
and those changes would be driven by the city, and generally speaking, those changes are scaled to, you know, the sign to the building as a, you know. But if there's a change to the construction of the sign, the makeup of the sign, so if it's going from unlit to lit or vice versa, so I would think that is a substantial change, and then we would want to bring that back to you. But if it's, you know, placement of the sign or a scale of the sign or the font and lettering, probably is not a substantial change.
And signs for the most part at the city level now as well are all handled by staff approvals. There's no more going to CAB and all that unless there's something that they're requiring a variance for, something of that nature.
So we have a motion in a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Item 10, board member requests or input. Anybody have anything they'd like to bring forward? Mr. Tucker?
Two things. So I think the landscaping is amazing.
Yes, I agree.
Gosh, the flowers, no weeds, no dead trees, freshly mowed observation area. I just was out there earlier. Oh my gosh.
Looks great.
Huge improvements. And looks great. Secondly, this is.
You gotta water it though, right?
Yeah, I gotta water
The board.
Well, he got the company, right? So that was their next project, to RFP that out. Thank you. Lou.
This is amazing. Is this a real photo of four burrowing owls with an airplane flying? Oh my gosh.
No,
How did you
it's
do that?
AI.
I know.
And the photo, the aircraft take photos, fish and wildlife, no less.
This is just simply amazing.
It is.
That's so rare. No, I go out there a lot, and I've never even seen one burrowing owl, and here we have four, and then we have an airplane taking off in the back.
Fish and
The only thing-
wildlife, running.
The only thing better is we're gonna add a little bit of branding with, you know, the airplane, you know, like, but no, this is fantastic, and the whole thing is really well done.
Very nice.
I'd like to mention and thank the staff for putting on the event at the observation area this month. It was well attended. We had a lot of local officials that come as well, so we've definitely worked to get the
Much better attendance in person.
Yes.
get the
Even though it was
message
cold.
out, and
Cool.
lots of great comments and lots of
Great comments.
It's been very busy, as you can see, and following that, when I go out there, I try to ask people how they hear about us. And it's mostly through social media. So there's a lot of buzz, a lot of
Getting hundreds of
organic,
people a week.
yes,
hundreds.
a lot of organic word of mouth, and which is pretty rewarding. We're really thrilled with it. Thank you for.
I know a lot of my neighbors with the snowbird families down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
This past weekend was quite busy, the long weekend.
Yeah, I mean, even locals, you know, don't
Yeah.
realize that it's here and.
They're starting to show up.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put a donation box in.
With your name on
Retirement fund,
it.
June Golden retirement.
It's your tax dollars.
Anybody else have any input or comment? Board? If not, public comment. Anna, are there any requests for?
There are none.
Other business? Is there any other business to come before the board? Lastly, the next meeting is scheduled for March 18th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Same time, same place.
Same batch.
If there is nothing else, we stand adjourned.
Here.